Grand Commander Vex'tora Quin surveyed the tactical display with 3 of his 7 eyes. The remaining 4 focused on the reports flooding in from the outer defense perimeter. His breathing apparatus clicked rhythmically as he processed the information. The Zalgarian Fleet had conquered 16 solar systems in the past lunar cycle alone. Not a single casualty. Not even a scratch on their quantum alloy hulls. Commander, Lieutenant Jazik approached, his blue scales reflecting the pulsing lights of the command center. The scouts have returned from the Sol system. Vex'tora didn't turn. Why bother? Another primitive civilization to add to the Zalgarian Empire's ever-growing collection. And, let me guess, pre-space travel monkeys living in mud huts. Not exactly, sir. Jazik's voice wavered, something Vex'tora had never heard before. Now Vex'tora turned all 7 eyes toward his lieutenant. The blue-scaled officer was trembling? Preposterous. Spit it out, Lieutenant, before I have your nutrition allocation reduced to larval portions. Jazik swallowed visibly. The 3rd planet, sir. It's inhabited by bipeds called humans. They are strange. Strange how? Do they have 2 heads? 6 arms? Do they communicate by changing colors or releasing spores? Be specific, Lieutenant. No, sir. They look almost like the Traxians, but without the facial ridges or tail. But their behavior, sir, it defies all logic we have encountered. Vex'tora snorted, a sound that made junior officers flinch. All species think they are special until they meet our obliterator cannons. Prepare the standard conquest protocol. Sir, Jazik persisted with respect, I think you should review the scout footage yourself. Vex'tora's middle eye twitched with annoyance. Fine. Show me these illogical creatures. The main view screen flickered to life, showing a blue-green planet with swirling white clouds. The image zoomed to a landmass, then to a settlement, then to individuals moving about. These are humans? Vex'tora asked, unimpressed. They look soft. Vulnerable. Watch, sir. The footage shifted to a human dwelling. Inside, 2 humans faced each other, vocal sounds emanating from their mouth holes. Our translation matrix is picking up their language now, Jazik explained. Can't believe you forgot our anniversary again, Rick. The smaller human yelled. Come on, Tanya. I have been working 60-hour weeks. The Henderson Project is killing me. The taller one responded. The Henderson Project. The Henderson Project. That's all I hear about. What about us? Vex'tora blinked several times in succession. Are they engaging in pre-combat rituals? No, sir. According to our xenologists, they are married. It's a pair bonding arrangement. And they fight like this for recreation? Not exactly, sir. The footage jumped to another scene, humans in metal containers moving at high speeds on paved surfaces. What insanity is this? Vex'tora demanded. They are nearly colliding with each other. They call it rush hour traffic, sir. They do this every day. The footage jumped again. Humans were jumping off high platforms with only thin cords attached to their legs. Are they being executed? Vex'tora asked, genuinely confused. No, sir. They call it bungee jumping. They do it for fun. Vex'tora's breathing apparatus clicked faster. For fun? They risk termination for fun? Yes, sir. And there's more footage. Humans deliberately ingesting toxic substances that impaired their cognitive functions. Humans willingly exposing themselves to loud sonic waves that damaged their auditory organs. Humans watching simulated danger scenarios for entertainment. This makes no sense. Vex'tora slammed a clawed hand on the console. How has natural selection not eliminated them? Sir, there's one more thing you should see. The footage shifted to what appeared to be a conflict zone. Humans in various outfits were engaging in organized violence. Ah, now this I understand, Vex'tora said, relaxing slightly. Guerrilla warfare? No, sir. This is what they call sports. They simulate combat for entertainment. Vex'tora's mandibles clicked in agitation. Are you telling me they practice warfare as a leisure activity? Yes, sir, and they have thousands of variations. The Grand Commander turned away from the screen, his exoskeleton plates shifting as he contemplated this information. What about their actual warfare capabilities? Jazik hesitated. That's the most concerning part, sir. They are remarkably efficient at killing each other. Show me. The screen displayed humans engaged in actual combat throughout their history. Primitive at first, then increasingly sophisticated. The final images showed their current military technology. Their propensity for violence is impressive, Vex'tora admitted reluctantly. But their technology is still primitive compared to ours. Yes, sir, but their rate of advancement is unprecedented. This footage spans just 300 planetary rotations. They went from primitive projectile weapons to rudimentary energy weapons in that time. Vex'tora's crest flattened against his skull, a sign of concern among his species. Recommendation, Lieutenant? The Xenology Department suggests caution, sir. Perhaps a diplomatic approach rather than immediate conquest. Diplomacy? Vex'tora bellowed, causing everyone in the command center to freeze. The Zalgarian Fleet does not engage in diplomacy. We are conquerors. Of course, sir, Jazik backed away slightly. I was merely relaying the suggestion. Vex'tora paced the command deck, all 7 eyes blinking in different patterns as he processed this information. These humans, they are either the most foolish species we have encountered or what, sir? Or they are so accustomed to danger that they have incorporated it into their very culture. Vex'tora stopped pacing. No matter. We will proceed with standard conquest protocol. Prepare the first wave. Yes, sir. Deploying scout forces to their moon first, as per protocol. Good. Let's see how these humans respond to a real threat. Captain Mika Takahashi of the Lunar Defense Station Armstrong was having a perfectly ordinary Tuesday when all hell broke loose. Captain. Lieutenant Patel's voice crackled over the comm. Unidentified objects approaching from Sector 7. Mika sipped her coffee, her 4th of the shift, and sighed. Probably another satellite malfunction. Run diagnostics. Already did, Captain. These are definitely not ours. Moving too fast, too erratically. Mika set down her mug, suddenly alert. How many? 20, no 30, they keep appearing, sir. Sound general quarters. Get me Earth Command. The station's alarms blared as personnel rushed to battle stations. Mika strode to the command center, her mind racing through protocols that had, until now, been purely theoretical. Earth Command online, Captain, Communications Officer Dawson announced. Admiral Huang's face appeared on the main screen. Captain Takahashi, report. Admiral, we have multiple unidentified craft approaching the lunar base. They are not responding to hails, and their movement patterns are unlike anything in our database. Huang's expression remained neutral, but Mika saw his jaw tighten. First contact protocol is now in effect, Captain. Attempt communication on all frequencies. If they show hostile intent. Understood, sir. The connection ended, and Mika turned to her crew. You heard the Admiral. Let's try not to start humanity's first interstellar war, shall we? Captain. Weapons Officer Rivera's voice cut through the tension. They are deploying something on the lunar surface. The main screen showed small objects detaching from the larger craft, descending to the moon's surface about 2 kilometers from the base. Magnify, Mika ordered. The image zoomed in to show what appeared to be robots. Mechanical creatures with multiple limbs were setting up equipment on the lunar regolith. What the hell are they doing? Mika wondered aloud. Own Captain, but they are extending some kind of array, possibly communications or weapons. Mika made a decision. Lieutenant Kowalski, suit up a reconnaissance team. I want eyes on those things, but no engagement unless fired upon. Clear? Nuh. Crystal, Captain. As Kowalski's team prepared to depart, Mika continued watching the alien devices. But their movements were precise, efficient. Whatever these visitors were, they weren't novices at space operations. Dawson, any response to our hails? Nothing, Captain. We are broadcasting on all known frequencies, including mathematical sequences. Keep trying. They might not recognize our signals as communication. From the command deck of the Zalgarian vessel Inevitable Conquest, Vex'tora watched the deployment of the initial probe units with satisfaction. Sir, we have detected a structure on the planet's satellite, Jazik reported. It appears to be a primitive outpost. Any response to our presence? They are emitting various electromagnetic signals, sir, possibly attempts at communication. Vex'tora flicked a dismissive appendage. Ignore them. Continue with the setup of the gravitational disruptors. Sir, movement from the outpost. Small entities are approaching our units. Show me. The screen displayed tiny figures in white protective coverings, moving awkwardly across the lunar surface. How quaint, Vex'tora remarked. They require artificial protection even on their own satellite. They are approaching cautiously, sir, not brandishing weapons. They recognize superior force when they see it. Good. It will make the conquest easier. Sir, the probe units have completed setup. The gravitational disruptors are online and ready. Vex'tora's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. Excellent. Once activated, these disruptors will cause massive tidal fluctuations on their planet. Nothing catastrophic yet, just enough to demonstrate our power. Sir, the humans are attempting to examine our probe units. Let them. They can't possibly understand our technology. Vex'tora settled back in his command chair. Activate the disruptors at minimum power. Let's give these humans a little demonstration. Lieutenant Kowalski's voice came through Mika's comm, slightly distorted by lunar static. Captain, these devices are unlike anything I have seen. Multiple power sources. Unknown alloys. Wait, they are activating. Mika leaned forward. Activating how? Parts are moving, Captain. Lights coming on. Some kind of energy field forming. All back, Lieutenant. Now. Roger that, Captain. Retreating to safe, the transmission cut off. Kowalski! Report. Mika shouted. No response. Get them back online. Mika ordered communications. Trying, Captain, but there's interference across all frequencies. Sir, Rivera called out. Massive energy spike from the alien devices. Before Mika could respond, the station shuddered violently, throwing personnel against walls and consoles. What was that? Mika demanded, pulling herself back to her feet. Unknown, Captain. But Earth is reporting unusual tidal activity, massive waves appearing worldwide. Mika's blood ran cold. They are attacking Earth's oceans? From here? Appears so, Captain. Some kind of gravitational manipulation. Mika's mind raced. If these aliens could manipulate gravity from a distance, status of Kowalski's team, still no contact, Captain. Another violent shudder rocked the station. Structural integrity at 82% and falling, Captain, engineering reported. Whatever they are doing is affecting our artificial gravity and life support systems. Mika made a decision. Rivera, target those devices. Take them out. Captain, first contact protocol states. They fired first, Lieutenant. Defend Earth. Rivera nodded grimly. Targeting lunar defense batteries. Firing. On the main screen, streaks of energy lanced out from the lunar base's defense turrets, striking the area where the alien devices had been deployed. Explosions bloomed silently in the vacuum. Direct hits, Captain. Alien devices destroyed. Mika allowed herself a moment of relief before reality set in. I just fired the first shots in an interstellar war. Captain, Earth Command is hailing us. Admiral Huang's face appeared again, his expression now grave. Captain Takahashi, we have detected weapons fire from your position. Admiral, The alien devices were attacking Earth, causing tidal disruptions. We had no choice but to neutralize them. Wang was silent for a moment. Understood, Captain. Your actions are approved retroactively. But be aware, satellite imagery shows more alien craft approaching. Many more. Mika's stomach tightened. Orders, sir? Hold your position as long as possible. Earth defenses are mobilizing, but we need time. Whatever these things are, they have just picked a fight with the wrong species. As the communication ended, Mika turned to her crew. You heard the Admiral. Battle stations. Whatever happens next, we make sure humanity's first impression is one these aliens won't forget. Vex'tora's rage was palpable, his exoskeleton flushing deep crimson as he received the report. They destroyed our gravitational disruptors. He roared. What? Yes, sir, Jazik confirmed, keeping a safe distance. The direct energy weapon strikes. Quite precise, actually. Impossible. No pre-interstellar species should have weapons capable of. Vex'tora cut himself off, regaining composure. It seems we have underestimated these humans. Perhaps we should reconsider the Xenology Department's suggestion of Diplo. Silence. Vex'tora's voice echoed through the command deck. The Zalgarian Fleet has never retreated, never negotiated, never shown weakness. If these humans want to resist, they will learn why we are called the Unbeatable. He turned to his tactical officer. Prepare the second wave. All combat units this time, not just probes, target their lunar outpost first, then their orbital infrastructure. Yes, Grand Commander. Vex'tora's breathing apparatus clicked rapidly as he glared at the blue-green planet on the view screen. These humans think they have won some small victory. Let's show them what real power looks like. As the Zalgarian warships moved into attack formation, Vex'tora couldn't shake an unfamiliar feeling creeping through his neural pathways. It took him a moment to identify it, as it was so foreign to his experience. It was doubt. But he pushed it aside. After all, the Zalgarian fleet was unbeatable. 16 solar systems in a lunar cycle proved that. These humans would be no different. Would they? Would. Admiral Eleanor Winters had seen her share of crises during her 30-year military career, but an alien invasion. That was definitely a first. Status report. She barked, striding into Earth Defense Command's underground bunker beneath Geneva. General Dmitry Volkov, her second-in-command, looked up from the holographic display. Armstrong Base is under heavy bombardment, Admiral. Captain Takahashi reports they can hold out for maybe 3 hours at current enemy intensity. And the civilian evacs? Coastal populations are moving inland as ordered, but panic is spreading. The initial tidal events caused significant damage in Mumbai, Shanghai, and San Francisco. Eleanor studied the tactical display showing red dots, alien vessels swarming around Earth's moon. What about our orbital defenses? All platforms activated and awaiting your command. The Mars garrison has been alerted, but they are 2 days out even at maximum burn. Eleanor pinched the bridge of her nose. Humanity had prepared for this possibility, of course, ever since the discovery of the Proxima Centauri ruins had confirmed we weren't alone. But preparation was one thing. Reality was another. Admiral, a communications officer called out. Lunar Base Armstrong is broadcasting on all channels. The aliens are sending a message? Put it through. The main screen flickered, revealing a creature that looked like someone had crossed a praying mantis with an octopus and then given it 7 glowing eyes. When it spoke, the translation software struggled to keep up. Humans of Earth. The creature's voice boomed through the speakers. I am Grand Commander Vex'tora Quin of the Zalgarian Fleet. Your pathetic resistance has been noted and will be punished. Surrender your world immediately, and your species may be permitted to live as servants of the Zalgarian Empire. You have 1 planetary rotation to comply. The transmission cut off abruptly. General Volkov snorted. Charming fellow. Eleanor's lips quirked in a humorless smile. A typical bully. Hit them once and they are shocked anyone would dare. Orders, Admiral. Eleanor straightened her uniform jacket. Send this response. Grand Commander Vex'tora Quin of the Zalgarian Fleet. This is Admiral Eleanor Winters of Earth Defense Command. In response to your generous offer, we would like to cordially invite you to go fuck yourself. End transmission. The communications officer blinked, then grinned. Yes, Mom. Now, Eleanor turned to her assembled command staff. Let's show these seven-eyed squids what happens when you pick a fight with humanity. Vex'tora stared at the translation of the human response, his breathing apparatus clicking so rapidly it threatened to malfunction. They refused? He finally managed, and told us to, what does this phrase mean? Lieutenant Jazik cleared his throat uncomfortably. It's an anatomically impossible suggestion, sir. A grave insult in their culture. Vex'tora crushed the datapad in his clawed hand. Commence full-scale attack. No mercy. Reduce their lunar outpost to dust. Yes, Grand Commander. The tactical display showed hundreds of Zalgarian vessels converging on the human moon base, weapons charging. Sir, Jazik reported, our forward vessels report unusual activity from the planet. What kind of activity? Multiple launches detected. Primitive chemical propulsion. No immediate threat. Vex'tora dismissed the concern with a flick of his appendage. Desperate measures. Focus on the lunar base. But moments later, alarms blared across the command deck. Sir, energy spikes from the approaching human vessels. They are... The tactical display suddenly showed 3 Zalgarian destroyers vanishing from the formation. Report. Vex'tora demanded. Unknown weapon type, sir. The human vessels, they self-destructed upon approach, but the explosion was. Spit it out, Lieutenant. Nuclear, sir. They detonated nuclear devices directly alongside our ships. The radiation surge overwhelmed our shields. Vex'tora's crest flattened in disbelief. They sacrificed their own pilots? For a tactical advantage? The vessels appeared unmanned, sir. Guided missiles. Before Vex'tora could respond, more alarms sounded. Multiple targets emerging from the planet's atmosphere. Hundreds, no, thousands. The tactical display filled with new contacts as Earth unleashed its arsenal. Missiles, drones, and fighter craft swarmed toward the Zalgarian fleet like angry insects. Reconfigure shields for nuclear detonation. Vex'tora ordered. Evasive pattern Delta 9. But the human attack wasn't following any recognizable pattern. Some missiles detonated early, creating radiation fields that disrupted Zalgarian sensors. Others changed course unpredictably, seeming to prioritize already damaged vessels. Sir, we have lost contact with Battle Group 3. But Vex'tora's mandibles clicked in frustration. Impossible. They had 4 capital ships. The humans, they are fighting like lunatics, sir. No regard for conventional tactics. On the tactical display, Vex'tora watched as human fighters performed maneuvers that should have torn their fragile bodies apart. They flew directly into weapon discharges, using the energy to propel themselves into new attack vectors. They collided with Zalgarian vessels, not as suicide attacks, but as deliberate boarding actions. Sir, we have intruders on the relentless domination and eternal victory. How? Their technology can't penetrate our hulls. They brought cutting tools, sir. They are physically cutting their way in. Vex'tora's 7 eyes blinked in rapid succession. What species does this? What species thinks like this? Captain Mika Takahashi dragged herself through the wreckage of Armstrong Base's command center. Half her crew was dead. The other half was fighting with whatever they had left. Status of the railgun? She asked, pressing a makeshift bandage against the gash in her side. Lieutenant Rivera, his face streaked with soot and blood, looked up from a cracked console. Operational, Captain, but we have only got power for 1, maybe 2 shots. That's all we need. Mika pulled herself into what remained of her command chair. Target their flagship. Ma'am, at this range, even with the railgun, we can't penetrate their shields. Mika smiled grimly. We are not aiming to penetrate. Understanding dawned on Rivera's face. The package? from the package. Duh! While the aliens had been focused on Earth's more obvious counterattack, a small team had managed to attach a very special device to the exterior of the Zalgarian flagship, a gift from Earth's most brilliant physicists. Firing solution ready, Captain. Mika took a deep breath. Fire. The entire base shuddered as the massive electromagnetic railgun discharged, sending a projectile hurtling through space at a significant fraction of light speed. Not toward the alien flagship, but toward the device already attached to its hull. Impact in 3, 2, 1. Grand Commander. Something has struck our hull. Vex'tora whirled toward the tactical officer. A damage report. Minimal, sir? Our shields deflected most of the impact. But there's an unusual energy reading from the impact site. What kind of energy reading? Before the officer could respond, the ship lurched violently, sending crew members tumbling across the command deck. What was that? Vex'tora demanded, righting himself. Sir, gravitational anomaly forming on our hull. It's a miniature black hole. What? Vex'tora couldn't believe his hearing organs. That's impossible. This species doesn't have that technology. Evidence suggests otherwise, sir. The singularity is growing. Deck 12 through 17 are already being compressed. Vex'tora stared at the damage reports in horror. These primitives had somehow created a contained gravitational singularity, a weapon his own scientists had only theorized about. Evacuation protocol, he ordered. All hands to escape vessels. But it was too late. The artificial black hole was expanding too quickly, consuming the flagship from the outside in. Vex'tora watched as the structural integrity readings plummeted. Sir, Jazik said quietly beside him, the other vessels are reporting similar attacks. Different methods, but equally creative. Vex'tora's breathing apparatus wheezed as he processed this information. The Unbeatable fleet was being decimated by a pre-interstellar species using technology that should have been centuries beyond their reach. How? He whispered. How is this possible? Jazik's scales had paled to a sickly blue-gray. Sir, I have been analyzing their communications during the battle. They are sharing information instantly. Adapting. When one tactic works, they all immediately switch to it. When one fails, none of them try it again. That's just basic battle coordination, Vex'tora snapped. No, sir. It's more than that. They are innovating, creating new tactics in the middle of combat. Look. The view screen showed human vessels deliberately flying into Zalgarian energy beams, but using the radiation to overload their own power cores and create devastating electromagnetic pulses. They are sacrificing themselves, Vex'tora observed. No, sir. Look closer. Magnification showed tiny objects ejecting from the vessels moments before detonation. Escape pods. They are creating suicide ships but saving the pilots? Vex'tora was baffled. The resource expenditure makes no tactical sense. To us, perhaps. But to them, Jazik hesitated. Sir, I think we fundamentally misunderstood this species. They don't value efficiency above all else, like we do. They value possibility. Another violent shudder ran through the ship as more decks were consumed by the growing singularity. Sir, we have 3 minutes until total structural failure. Vex'tora made the hardest decision of his 7th-century career. Send the signal. Fleet-wide retreat. Sir? What sir? You heard me, Lieutenant. Full retreat. Get as many of our ships out of this system as possible. And what do I tell the High Command? Vex'tora's mandibles clicked in a pattern that signified bitter amusement. Tell them we found something new in the galaxy. Something we don't understand yet. As the evacuation order spread through what remained of the Zalgarian fleet, Vex'tora took one last look at the blue-green planet on the view screen. We will be back, humans, he murmured. But next time, we will be ready for your madness. 6 months later, Admiral Eleanor Winters stood at a podium before the United Nations General Assembly. The Zalgarian threat has been neutralized, she announced to thunderous applause. Our lunar base has been rebuilt, and our orbital defenses have been enhanced with technology reverse-engineered from captured alien vessels. The applause faded as she continued. But make no mistake, this was not a definitive victory. Our scientists believe the force we encountered was merely an expeditionary fleet. Somewhere out there, the Zalgarians are regrouping, analyzing, planning. They will return, and when they do, they will be prepared for our tactics. Murmurs spread through the assembly. However, Eleanor's voice took on a hint of steel. They will never be prepared for our greatest weapon. "And what is that, Admiral?" asked the Secretary General. Eleanor smiled. "Humanity itself, our unpredictability, our creativity, our stubborn refusal to surrender even when logic dictates we should. The Zalgarians fight with perfect efficiency, but we fight with perfect passion." She gestured to the view screen behind her, which displayed the stars. "The galaxy has never seen a species quite like us before. We don't follow the rules because we don't know the rules exist. We try the impossible because no one told us it couldn't be done. We survive because we refuse not to." Eleanor's gaze swept across the assembly. "But the Zalgarians will return, and when they do, humanity will be waiting. Not just with better weapons or stronger shields, but with what truly makes us unique, our beautiful, terrible, wonderful insanity." In the back of the hall, a janitor paused his work to listen. No one noticed his eyes, all 7 of them blinking in different patterns as he recorded the Admiral's words. Grand Observer Vex'tora, now demoted and disguised, had volunteered for the most dangerous mission in Zalgarian history, to understand humanity from within. He had expected to find weakness, strategic flaws, exploitable fear. Instead, he found himself becoming increasingly fascinated by these bizarre creatures. The way they laughed in the face of danger. The way they found joy in the strangest places. The way they turned defeat into victory through sheer refusal to accept the former. As Admiral Winters concluded her speech to resounding applause, Vex'tora returned to his menial labor, his mind racing with thoughts no Zalgarian had ever contemplated before. Perhaps the High Command was wrong. Perhaps these humans weren't a threat to be eliminated, but a miracle to be studied. Perhaps, just perhaps, the Unbeatable fleet had finally met its match, not because humans were stronger or smarter, but because they were something else entirely. Gloriously, magnificently unpredictable. And for the first time in his long life, Vex'tora felt something new stir within him, not the familiar contempt for lesser species, but something dangerously close to admiration. The Zalgarian Empire had conquered 16 solar systems through perfect efficiency and overwhelming force, but it had been defeated by a species that didn't even know the rules of interstellar warfare and therefore couldn't be bound by them. As Vex'tora pushed his cleaning cart down the hallway, a strange sound emerged from his breathing apparatus. It took him a moment to recognize it. He was laughing.